Hello, I'm back in Weardale. Right, as I said before the credits, I'm back in Weardale. If you don't know, if you've not seen that video, I was actually here probably, it must be about a month ago now, and I was actually doing a walk up this valley, and I was going to do a circular walk. I'd got the dog with me, so on a runner lead as well, which she can't come off as well. So if you want to watch that video, it's up there. But specifically on that day, the first part of the walk comes up this wonderful valley. The walk starts in a place called Westgate, and this valley, I think it's the Middlehope Burn that runs up it. I'll put the proper name up here in a while if that's not the case, but I think it is the Middlehope Burn. And I noted on that day straight away there must be at least 5 waterfalls up here, and ones that I've not really seen a lot of images of. And I really wanted to take some images, but I didn't take any of the waterfalls on that day, and that was specifically for 2 reasons. The first one being that I'd got the dog with me on a runner lead, and I was vlogging anyway, and I was vlogging and taking stills images, and I just thought mixing those 2 things up with water was probably not a good idea. So I did steer clear of the water last time. The other issue I'd got is that at that time in the UK we'd had masses and masses of rain. Loads of areas were flooded, including down where I live, and there was just so much water rushing down here that for me, if you take an image of a waterfall, and I like to try and take it when it's not at an extreme, so it's not running dry and it's not got thousands of gallons pouring over it. The reason for that for me is that when a waterfall's in its like natural state, that it is sort of 60–70% of the time with a similar amount of water coming over it, over the thousands of years it's been running, it's made its little roots through the rock, and it's got its, you know, those little channels that it comes through. Now I think if you've got too much water coming through, you lose all that, you just get a gushing, you know, torrent, and you can't see any of that detail, and you can't see any of those lines, which is what I like. So anyway, the plan today, and the sun's just coming out, which is quite nice. The plan today, I'm just going to walk up this burn, up this valley, look at all the different waterfalls, have a good scout round with them. I've got my wellies on today, so I can get down and have a good look and try for some different compositions, and hopefully get at least 2, if not 3 decent images. So that's the plan for this week, and yeah, we'll see what we can do. Quite a bit of shuffling around, I've finally settled on a composition, I think. I haven't gone right up close to the top falls yet of this set. There's probably 1, 2, 3 drops, so it comes down in 3 drops. The bigger drop is up at the top there. But what drew my interest firstly was down in the bottom here. There's some spinning foam. Can't really make that work, I've tried, but the second thing that caught my attention is that this small fall at the bottom, there's a lovely rock just in front of it, which is again like a smaller fall, but it's just sliding off that really nicely, and then creating just some little gentle white rapids, if you like, just below it. And I wanted to use that as my foreground interest. So what I've done, I've been shifting around all over the place trying to find what to include and what not to include. I think the trouble with it is if you try and say, oh look at this, it's magnificent, and try and get the whole thing in, like with most landscape photography, if you do that, the viewer and even yourself who's looking at it gets lost in the image. You know, there's more than one focal point, so your eyes are darting from one to the other. What I'm trying to do here is have some nice foreground that gently leads up to the main fall and out of the back of the picture, so the viewer goes straight through. And how I'm trying to do that, I've got the foreground interest, which is what you see immediately, but the angle that I'm at, the actual line of the bank of the burn, comes in at an angle from the left corner and heads up to the middle of the picture, so that's like a natural line that leads you into the rest of the falls. I think it works quite nicely. I've shot at f/16, and the only reason I've done that is because I've put a polarizer on. Now the sun's come out, it's quite bright even down here, and I wanted to try and slow the shutter speed down, not too much. With the polarizer on, I'm getting 1.6 seconds, and I've also got a 0.9 graduated filter on because the trees at the back are now really bright with the sun on them, so I just wanted to bring that down a little bit. It looks really nice on the back of the camera, so I'm hoping that's the first image in the bag. I'm going to play around a little bit more. I might even try a portrait shot, I don't know. But yeah, you could literally spend all day here, that's the problem. And I want to go and explore further up, so that's what I'm going to do in a minute. But I'll take a few more shots here, and yeah, this is the shot I've taken. Right, this is really ridiculous. I've just come to the top of the last fall that you've just seen the photographs of, and I've now got this fall. Right, I've stumbled across the river. It's not that deep actually. There's never in danger of coming over the top of my wellies, and I think it's going to be worthwhile. This could look really nice. Now we've got a better view of it, I'll just show you. I mean, I'm talking, this fall in total from top to bottom must be 4 feet, but it's just the shapes and the gentle way it's coming over from quite a aggressive bit at the top, and then these geometric shapes of these little falls where it got little cutouts. Right, I didn't do an awful lot of filming there because I spent such a lot of time hopping from one side of the burn to the other. Luckily no water in the wellies, so I got fairly close on a couple of attempts. So let me get up this hill. I'm not happy, I don't think, with the image. I won't know fully until I get back and have a look at it in Photoshop. As photographers, you'll know, sometimes you'll see something and you'll know there's a good image in there. You'll know that, you know, there should be a good image in there. I hope you can hear me over this wind that's starting to pick up. And that was one of those occasions. I can see there's a really good image there. I'm just coming past some more falls actually. We'll move on, there's some more further up. Yeah, I could see there's a good image in there, but just today I don't think I could take it. You know, maybe it's a case of some inspiration from somewhere else, or the flow of the water slightly different, something like that. But today no, I just wasn't happy with it, but I know there's a good image in there, so anyway, that's a reason to come back. I'll put that image up now anyway, and yeah, let me know what you think. I've just come away from the waterfalls for a bit. One of the reasons is that it's very difficult to know whether the audio is recording down there with the noise of the water, so what I'm having to do is record some of it again just in case. So instead I've come up where you can have wind noise instead to the slip mine, which is at the top of this little valley. The last waterfall I was shooting there is having real difficulty, and I think it's due to one of the things I mentioned at the beginning of the video, and that is really the fact that I think there's still too much water coming down here. The top waterfall there that I was just trying to take an image of, the force of the water's causing such a turmoil in the water that it's creating that foam, you know, that you sometimes see at the beach, and there's little pools of that spinning round at the top, and obviously completely white, so it's too much for the image, if you like. It's unbalancing the image, and I'm having real trouble trying to sort of work around that. I can't move it out of the way, it's there. I know if the water was sort of coming down in a more gentler fashion, we'd probably have just sort of spinning bubbles, which look quite nice, but because of the volume of foam there, it's really it's having an effect on the image. So I think even today there's too much water coming down, and I'm gonna have to come back when there's, you know, less volume. But certainly there's loads and loads of compositions down there, and I think that's another one of the problems, is there's too much. You know, sometimes if you visit a location, you'll know there's one waterfall, so you'll spend an hour and a half, 2 hours at that one waterfall trying different things. There's between 5 and 10, I would think, here, different bits that you could photograph where you've got water dropping off. So it makes it really challenging to decide on one thing, and I have been sort of going across the burn in different positions, trying different things, but sometimes I think as well, because some of these waterfalls are not just one drop, they're multiple drops in a small area, the temptation is to try and fit it all in, and again what you'll suffer from then is that there's no focal point in the image. So on the way back down, I think what I'm going to do is have a look for some more close detail and try and cut a lot of the stuff out and see if we can get one more image, and I think then I'll call it a day. I think while I'm up here as well, I'm going to have a look at this, where there's supposedly, I think, a reservoir up here, so just do a little bit of scouting for next time I come to this location. As I say, there's so much to photograph, not just the waterfalls. So yeah, it's a beautiful location, and I've seen, how many people have I seen today? I've been here about 4 hours and I've seen nobody. So, you know, I ought to keep it quiet really. It's fantastic. Right, well, I've done exactly probably what I thought I wasn't going to do, and I got to the slip mine. My intention was to go up and have a look on top, which I did. Beautiful countryside around here. Definitely we're going to come back and do the full walk that I said in that book, that the first trip I made here. And I'll put a link to an Amazon link for that book if somebody wants to come and do that walk. It's the first one in there. But I actually thought, well, rather than go straight back down, I'll just follow the river, the burn, back further up through the mine. There's a footpath, so it is part of the walk, and I found some more little falls here, and my idea now was to try and do something a little bit more intimate and try and not fit everything in, so I think this might work quite well. So that's what I'm going to try and do now. I'm going to try and get a shot here. There's a couple of little like horseshoe type falls, but rather than try and get them both in, I might just focus on one or one part of one and see if I can make a composition from that. I mean, as I was talking about the river being in flood and me not liking, not liking to take images of waterfalls, then if you look at the ground where I'm stood now, all the grass is swept downhill, so it's obviously this was all underwater, probably last time I came actually, so it has gone down a lot. But anyway, I'm going to have a wander around, see what composition works, and then I'll get back to you. Right, it took some real fiddling about to get this image set up. Again, I liked the fall at the back and then the pinch point that you'll be able to see on the screen now. And then the water fanning out, and obviously you've got some rapids that when you do a long exposure over about a second, you get some nice lines in the water. But when I try to do the whole thing, it becomes really messy and the fall at the back fades into the background, which is what I don't want, because that's what your eye's leading to. That's the main thing here, is that fall. And bearing in mind it's not a massive fall, it's only about 45 centimetres. If you try and fit too much in, it just fades into the background. So what I've ended up doing is the tails of rapids on the right hand side of the picture. What I've done, I've used those and I've tried to cut out the ones on the left, which are fairly insignificant anyway. So I've cropped that side out a little bit. So you've got the tails of the rapids leading you into that pinch point, and then when you get to the pinch point there's a little rapid off the corner that your eye lights on, and then immediately back into the main fall. So it looks really nice on the camera, and yeah, nice one to end the day on. Right, I hope you can hear this. Hope it's not too windy. I've made my way to the top of this valley where it opens out now. You probably can still hear the water in the background if you can hear it over the wind. Absolutely fantastic here. I've had a wonderful day. There's just loads and loads of photographic opportunities, and not just waterfalls either. I'm actually at another old farm mine building, I think, here again I've come up to. So I'm going to make my way back down now and then up to Durham to pick Leia up, because it's about 4 o'clock and start to lose the light, I think. But yeah, I can thoroughly recommend it to come up here if you want a nice peaceful day of photography with very few people around, especially at this time of year. It's absolutely fantastic, and I hope you've enjoyed the images as well that I've taken today. As I say, I think it'd probably be more beneficial to come back on a day when there's less water running through. But I don't think it's far off perfect, to be honest. I mean, it's not like I've struggled to get from one side of the burn to the other. I've been able to cross backwards and forwards in my wellies, so it's not that much in flood. I just think that sometimes different falls benefit from different conditions, so definitely one to come back to anyway. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have, can you give the video a like? And also, if you've not subscribed to the channel yet, then please subscribe to the channel. And if you click on the bell, then you will also get notified every time I upload some content, which is probably every 7 to 10 days, I think. And there's a combination of landscape and wildlife stuff. So yeah, what a perfect day. I mean, it's not very good weather, but who needs it? It's beautiful. See you later.